Therefore, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about quality and about winning doors, because it's all about winning doors in sales. Winning doors is essential because it actually helps us to drive the business, helps us to showcase the brands, and actually finally reach more consumers, what is the main goal. So I would like to share with you some examples where we won some doors with very nice executions on the sales floor, and you will see some other examples combined with some promotion packages around the great collection of Marco Odermatt, or one great example of a holistic approach window, then on the point of sale, but also out of home in the parking lot, an example from Tech from Samnaun. So great examples happening in every market, and please share this with us, because this is a proof that the step by step we are winning, whether it's in store or also out of home. And it's not only the big things who will help us to grow, but it's also the small steps. And as you can see, I mean, this is really a showcase of the brand. Only one sock here on the top, and the rest a mix of other. This is not really a brand statement. And these kind of examples out of Germany, and also a great example from the Rotterdam Marathon with a booth focusing 80% on socks, created a buzz. And actually I could attend this event and learned again a lot how consumers think about our socks. And actually the two things I took with me, one was really that when people were convinced about the sock, they mostly also bought 2 or even 3. You also offered a package, I know, but it's really when the people were convinced, it was very, very easy to convince them, hey, you need more than 1 socks because you go out for training 3 times a week. So great learning, and also great success stories to share. But now I want to deep dive a little bit into numbers. And these are the numbers I'm gonna talk to you today. 260,000, 29, and 1,140. And it's the symbol of how we challenged ourselves in the company to think a little bit different about the numbers. Until 5 weeks ago, we were doing our budget on a 5-year plan always in euros. And our salaries are paid in euros, the bills, the building, everything is paid in euros, and it's very logical, and we are all used to that. But we were not happy with what we did, because the outcome was always based on a good feeling or bad feeling, but more on feelings than on facts. So is 20% growth good? In these days, I would sign it. Is 30% good? Even better. But how about 70%? So we can discuss and argue up and down whatever is more challenging or better, but it's not talking about the reality or how much quality we gain out there or how much we challenge ourselves. Therefore, we changed the whole attitude, and now we do the whole planning. So from sales to marketing, everybody does the planning when it comes to the business in units. And this was a big step for us, also a big mind change, because you need to think about individual doors, individual racks, units, at the end, collections. So that's the outcome. And one example I want to share with you what is reflected to this number. So we plan to sell 260,000 pairs of footwear in the year 29 and want to reach 1,140 doors. That's our goal. And how we came to this, I want to share a little bit with you. So that's the whole planning on the door level. We started with the doors. So first we identified the markets. We gathered some data together. We checked the internet, so it's very easy to check competition. We had some internal, Urs worked for Adidas, I worked for Nike, so we had some data somewhere about customer lists. So we also checked these customer lists, put this together and came up with a number of how many potential tier 1 and tier 2 doors are out there in the market. So we are talking about running specialty, outdoor specialty, and general sporting goods. So for example, here in Switzerland, we have 40 and 188 running specialty or running relevant / trail running relevant doors. And this really helped us with knowing what we are planning in terms of growth of the collection, of where we want to go as a team in footwear to challenge ourselves, but also to come up with realistic numbers where we see in a first, in a second, and a third step where we wanna go. In a second step, we discussed about the average collection or the average assortment in a single door, and this easily translated then into numbers. And the discussions we have changed our perception completely about more like, is it realistic to have 25 quality doors in Switzerland versus is 20% growth correct or is 15% growth correct? And therefore, we took it even a step further and also changed our perception how we look at the products, because before it was X-BIONIC or X-SOX, and now we look at it as the base layer, socks business, as accessories, apparel, and footwear. And also this is much easier for us because, take one example, X-BIONIC accessories. We launched a new accessory line in fall winter 24, and the numbers were rather disappointing, we would say. Maybe so why is 2,500, I just make up a number, is 2,500 pieces enough? We don't know. But if we hear that Compress Sport, who I would consider a direct competitor for us in trail running, is selling more than 60,000 accessories only, then I think it becomes very relevant to talk about individual units and doors and planning. And I'm gonna lean out of the window a little bit, talking about France. So I have here a little calculation about when we talk about spring summer 24 collection and how maybe France could attack it. So last year they had 276 pieces of apparel in their assortment, and if we divide this assortment, what we think is a relevant assortment for a running specialty, and as you can see, we talk about men and women 6 size runs, so 12 units each, so 1, 2 to 1, so very simple. With this, you can reach 7 doors. And in a normal discussion, I would say, okay, to grow from 276 to 450, 60% growth, this sounds amazing, it's great. But if, and this is the discussion we had with France, or we have also at the pre-line we started, is it possible that we reach with the whole TerraSkin collection 25 doors in France? Is this a realistic goal? Let's take the collection in consideration. Then we talk about the number, what is maybe more relevant and more feasible, and also brings us a step further, and not just us, but also the partners and also the stores, because we actually talk about selling collections and not single items. So identifying the right doors is one key element. And to support you on that On that one, we talked now a lot about tier 0, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. We already started to put a list together, kind of a database of, right now it's 1,400 running relevant doors. Again, you will, and of course this list we will share with you. And you can also see here that we included the source. Yeah, we checked the Norda website, we checked Tinafit website, and actually, yeah, downloaded, copied the doors in there, and they give us, and I know, and I'm sure you know most of these accounts, but maybe it can help you to have another point of view on your market and have a great visibility on these accounts, again, to come to this, yeah, maybe 25, maybe it's then 30 doors at the end of the day. So it starts with identifying these doors and the database. The second step is building collections or building assortments. And we discussed this a lot because I think what is now more relevant and more important for us than ever is, before we felt like we are selling individual products, like you would sell a twice product or an effector product. And now we have great collection. I took the example here of running, so a real price build-up. And also you have seen that we have many offers like the pant, what is cross-merchandising, or also the vest, what is a product who can live in different collections. So it's easy, it is possible to make great assortments around that. And of course, we should not forget to, this is a holistic approach, to have a real running assortment in the stores. And why we do that, it's because if you go out in the stores, and you all know how this is, and you offer the whole collection, the retailers will pick something out of there, and we will have not a great collection. We have not an understandable collection also for the consumer, and the result will be that the sell-through is bad, and actually next season you have a discussion if sell-through was okay or bad. But what we want to do is we want to win the doors. We want to sell them a relevant starting kit, a relevant assortment, and hopefully to build on that in the next season, next to getting new customers, also growing the business in the existing customers. And to help you a little bit around the collections, you know this slide from yesterday, we built an assortment tool, so it's an Excel-based tool. This will also be available from tonight on the B2B portal, and you will find these 3 assortments in running, and also 3 assortments in the same logic in cycling. And so these collections or these assortments are based on the feedback we already got from the many pre-lines we did, also with some retailers already in Germany. And they are based on, for example, this is the Sport Generalist assortment, where and that's very important, this is not something we want to dictate, it's something we want to provide you as a thinking step. And also, I like this feedback in the morning when Pablo and we discussed on the way walking here, that said, the door you had on tier 0 was wrong. There is a better one. And this is great, because this is exactly where we can challenge each other to come to the best solution. So take this as an example, take this as an idea for you, and of course you have to change it, you have to adapt it for your market, you have to adapt it for your next visit, who is just in front of you when you go out and sell this collection to your partners. Oh, yeah, this got lost. So these are, as you can see, the logic is always the same. So, and of course, we also included the socks and also the shoe collection. And just in a minute, I want to talk to you a little bit about why we have two shoes here, because this was also an outcome of the pre-lines with Intersport Germany, that they had a big debate and they were a little uncertain about the unisex size run. And I have a little example how we do this. So we internally, we always present the women's shoe and the man's shoe, all it's the same shoe, right? As two separate shoes. Therefore, you will also receive two different samples in different sizes, because for the retailers, it seems to be that proves the feedback proves that it's easier to think about, hey, is this a man's shoe or a women's shoe? Or of course, maybe on one shoe you do a unisex size run, but this is much more simple to digest and also compare with the figures you normally buy from other brands. So then some other assortments around specialty, and I think you got the idea behind these assortments. And I talked about the size run, the unisex size run, and to help you, we have here a great database of a unisex size run from I would say one of the biggest retailer in the world. So it's based on sell-out data, so not sell-in. So this is a great example for you to calculate. And this tool we can also send you, so you can just plug in, and it can also be a lower number, and it will distribute the size run on your needs. So there are two size runs, Daniel, for you in China, because we talked about different feet shape, right? So this is also based on the sell-out. So also the percentage is really sell-out data from big retail, from athletic footwear. And with this as a basis, we created this recommended size run for you. So here you see a unisex size run, and this was actually the discussion what forced this a little bit, that say, oh yeah, but 24 pairs of a new shoe, that's crazy. But if you talk about a men's size run 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, then it's 18 pairs or 14 pairs in a women's size run. It's maybe more digestible for retailers. And this is an example how we did. So that's, if you show the colleague, if you show 3 shoes with a 24 unit size run, we limit ourselves also in terms of display. So at the end, if somebody says, yeah, I cannot take more than 72 pairs, you end up by having 3 different shoes in retail. But if you think in the collection more like men and women, it also gives you much more possibilities to play around with colors, play around with the merchandising, with the apparel. So that's the approach we recommend you going out in retail in the next days. Same exercise we did with cycling. So also here you will find 3 different layers: tier 3, tier 1, tier 2 on the collection. What was followed on the recommendation of Chrigi, how he positioned the whole collection as just presented before. So this afternoon we're going to talk about, and also after the meeting, we're going to follow up you and challenge you on this part, because this is the important part, how many doors we win, and then to sell them a relevant assortment is just a consequence of it, and this hopefully, or not hopefully, but it will lead us to actually grow and build a great base also for the future business. Talking about the foundation, so we have a set of tools prepared for you. So first, and I think very important, the samples will be sent out this week to you. both footwear will be the end of the week, so a little later, and apparel is for most of the countries already on its way. Tonight we're gonna finish the seasonal based database of all these different tools we have for you. So master data, price list, line overview, product descriptions, all the presentations you have seen here. We also have a condensed key account presentation, so kind of the highlight presentation you could use. Still, we put it in a PowerPoint format that you can adjust and customize it to your local needs. We also have a X Academy, so a training tool in there. And by the way, we are updating this tool right now to also bring it in a new format and bring the new technologies in there to help you to do product trainings, tech talks, whatever is needed. Already on the DAM you will find the pictures we used, the studio and the action photos. So this is available from tonight on the DAM system. As a next step, we ask you to provide us a style color forecast. So we will send up a tool for this, because this is very important for us and it really helps us to steer the business and to buy the yarns. That's the most important part, that we are able to deliver on time the collection next upcoming season, spring summer 25. An overview over all the dates and gates. So sales meeting samples we talked about. 1st of July is the request of the style color forecast, and then we have the two deadlines coming up. So the order deadline for footwear, 5th of July, 16th of August, order deadline for X-BIONIC and X-Socks, and then in February 25 the delivery starts. Off the brakes. What does it mean for us in sales? Thank you very much from my side. It's not finished. I don't have the last part, but thank you very much, and thank you very much for fighting every day out there for every door, every shelf, every single hook. Very much appreciated.
Thank you, Stefan. So, marketing. And I know you're already hungry and already building up the food, and in the next few minutes you start to smell the food. So I'll try to condense it a little bit so you can start to enjoy it. This number was shown yesterday also, maybe a bit provocatively by Max, about how we're growing on our own channels. And to give you a bit more context why we're sharing this number is what we also see, like we're in close partnership with Google, and therefore we get insights in how many search queries there are on the brand. And this is something this is organic, something we can't influence just by paying ads or doing whatsoever, but it's actually a very good indicator of the consumer need, the consumer demand for our brand, and that goes up by 40%. So that gives you a bit of context of the 50% we're achieving on our own channel is also strongly fueled by this. Of course, our channel is still relatively small. It's easy to outperform this growth, but I think this number is maybe even more important for you to see how the markets are developing. What's also interesting, I heard some people say like, hey, going to the X-Socks sales meeting. If we look, these are the numbers from Google, not our internal numbers. The search queries are split at roughly 90 to 10 between X-BIONIC and X-Socks. And how that looks like also, I told you the growth before. These are the numbers from Google. You see the blue line is X-BIONIC, the red is X-Socks. It always takes it based on the amount of queries, so that's why one is relatively lower than the other. And I also have one example from France, not to put you out there, because I could have done it for many different countries. But if you see how the queries are split between the country, you see on the left side is where X-BIONIC gets the most search queries, on the right, X-socks. So you see around the Alps, around the ski areas, very strong foothold, but we also see a lot of potential on X-BIONIC side. I think that's something for me very important to take, like really don't underestimate the potential we have here for all of our products. If we look ourselves on our own digital channel, we see roughly in revenue an 85-15 split. Before we looked at planning in terms of quantities, there it's a 60-40. It's probably a no-brainer for you. You know the difference in the prices between our average X-BIONIC products and our socks. But I think it also shows the potential there is in X-BIONIC. And I can only say from our own channels, we really have this confirmation that this is across all countries. Like it's not that one country is better than the other. We see this same numbers in each country. There are more rough numbers, like if I change the dates roughly, it maybe goes to 62 or to 57. But this is the rough indication that is pretty stable already, yeah, since we basically took over 2 years ago as new team. I showed this before as a learning for Corfusion. It actually holds true as well for energy accumulator, merino. Everyone that buys a top, basically for every 100 people that buy a top, 75 of them also already buy a bottom. These are numbers we have. It's not only from the first order. So maybe some people buy the top first, and the second order they do the bottom. But we really see there is a very big amount of people that actually match. They really want to get the full set. And as I said before on Corfusion, like also don't only think in the standard things, but on Corfusion we saw that 70% of the women that buy an aero jersey buy a sports bra as well. Then I'd like to go from summer into winter and give you a bit of a preview on the assets we've been creating the last weeks. So April was a month where we shot both winter and summer. And these are some things we shot here in Switzerland and Engadin to give you an example of a lot of content that will be available on the Dam. So I have some nice ski touring content with the energy accumulator light. We created some nice shots with the merino combination as well to get the energy accumulator with the new great socks range. All in all, a lot of high quality content. Like I could have made a presentation that goes on for half an hour, but I know you're hungry probably by this time. And I can only stress that together with Swiss Ski, we have some nice plans coming ahead for the coming year. It's a very strong tool for us also in winter to promote us as a brand. Marco, I think already proved his value to us. And also the coming winter, you can be guaranteed that we'll do a lot of collaborations with Marco and with the whole Swiss Ski team. And how that then all comes roughly together, especially now also with the whole Terra skin. Maybe one thing, because it was a bit challenging to put on the whole timeline. You've seen earlier this morning Essential. So in June, we'll also be pushing Essential, but then I had to add 2 dots and we would lose something here. So I thought let's focus on that, and I'll say this in the voiceover. And I said yesterday, from August onwards, we'll start to build up the hype for Terra Skin. It's the launch we do together with Tier 1. We'll push it once more with a second drop, and then February, March, I'll get to Summer 25 in a second. It will continue. Just the rough timeline for winter, we'll start with Invent FX in mid of September when the winter starts. Then we'll continue with Energy Accumulator Light, our big innovation story, followed up by Symbio Merino, and then a big chunk as well, Energy Accumulator. We'll definitely also on our own channels keep on playing it afterwards, but I think for you it's also important to have these stories early on. And I put the X-Socks big, because we keep on playing X-Socks the whole winter long, because it's a very, very important topic for us. So now let's move back to summer. Yes, I already promised you, like you've seen a short video about the footwear, what we created. I can also give you a preview of the content that we're creating on the whole apparel for trail running. And this also puts together a few of our own of our learnings about we don't only want to make like nice mood content, we also want to touch upon the technologies, about the benefits. And here we see a nice blend between internal people testing the product, the designers, the developers behind it, and what we can achieve with it.
During the last year, we focused on a super exciting project. We focused on trail running and a full trail run outfit.
I'm now in the middle of my training session. I gotta say that the partial compression of the effective shorts, it's really amazing. Super excited.
In trail running you need a lot of thermal regulations. You're doing long distances, you're using up a lot of energy, so the less your body has to work, the more energy you have left in your tank.
Sweat has a purpose. It helps to cool the body down. And X-BIONIC's philosophy is to support the body doing that and not just wick the sweat away.
I gotta say the products are really lightweight. T-shirt still feels really dry.
By looking at nature, you find a ton of inspiration. In this particular example, we looked at the ocean and this gave us the inspiration of the new wave structure of our partial compression. We found that like this, we can increase the compressional surface and therefore improve the benefits of compression. This is actually quite cool.
I agree with Sandro there. It is actually very cool. So a few more images. I think you've already seen all hidden in the different presentations, but just to highlight a little bit. Of course, we want to make sure to create very authentic trail running shots. We definitely have some good action with close-ups on products. In the end, you need products where you see the images and content where you see the products very, very clearly. Also for the Exceed range, we have a lot of content created, and then all the close-ups you need on the shoes. So that's basically a full package, including the videos that can really support you during the sell-in in the coming weeks and months. So you can really show that we really believe in this activity, in these topics, in these products. So you can really take that as assets and let us know if you have any questions. Like we have tons of content, we could only show you a small portion of it. And maybe to also show you, like yesterday I explained a little bit, we also want to work on this cultural relevance. And actually the white in the background here comes from the area where we shot this. This is in the northern part of the northern part of Tuscany, and those are actually known for their marble caves. And this is not, I would say, the traditional trail running shot we want to get, but also shots we want to use. Like we want to be disruptive. We really want to speak to a broad audience, and we also created some of these kind of shots because we really believe you need to get some content that is not the content you've seen already with 20, 30 other brands. And that's why we have these shots. We really believe there's media very interested in this to feature it like this, and it can just also really look cool in all your presentations. And here also some shots that we created. So you have both a lot of, I would say, more core trail running shots also for local media, but also these kind of shots are available. Then you've already heard it now a few times. We'll continue to work a lot with content creators to make sure that in the whole range we keep on creating new content. I think also with Patrick answered a few questions about some action shots for X-Sox the last months. We were pretty flexible to create content there. Also, you have certain content needs, let us know. We can always look what we can do. It doesn't happen overnight, but in a few weeks we can usually create very nice high quality content. And yeah, I think that's something you should also really leverage. Let us know, ask us as the sales guys, as Patrick, as myself. we have a lot of options to create great content for you. Then you've seen this guy. He's not always sleeping. I think, Abram, how many he slept? 100 minutes in this full FKT, right? He's actually starting to train again, Tim, because he approached us. He's like, I actually want to do another one. And I don't know, yeah, you can already probably see it. This is the route he planned. So he wants to beat the fastest known time to run around the country. He didn't pick Spain, that would maybe be a bit too much, but he started easy, Liechtenstein. So in between Switzerland and Austria, this small, how you call it, Princedom? Fürstendom? Their own king kind of thing. I'm sure he won't interfere. He lives somewhere in the middle, Vaduz. But Tim is actually going to approach this and going to try it. And this is the time that he has to beat. It's 23 hours and 60 minutes. So it's quite a time. Because there have been recently 8 failed attempts to try to beat the time. It's actually time from 85. But if we look at the last few years, we see there were 8 attempts to try to break it. So it's going to be an interesting one. So I can't promise yet that he will be able to do it, but he started to train a lot, and yeah, it would be very interesting to see. So probably around mid-end summer, he will give it a try. Of course, wearing all our new products. So this will be a great content piece that we can hopefully share then later on. A big dream of him to get another fastest known time. A quick recap from yesterday, just that I can't keep on stressing this enough from a brand point of view. We're really here, and this was an example before, to energize the boldest dreams. And it is all about these people willing to sweat. I think all of you, it's starting to get actually quite warm here now, but are willing to sweat. And then the essence we've been working on the last weeks and last months is to fine-tune our positioning, and it has everything to do with sweat, tech. I've shown you yesterday, can only show you once more. Switzerland, it's mountains, science-based, being super precise, quality, everything we stand for here. It's premium. You've now visited our new office here in Zurich, and that's in the core of our DNA. Then sweat, as I said before, those are the people we make it for, but also that's who we are. And that's actually what the sweat itself has a lot of, I would say, sports scientific benefits to bring, but it's also what it takes to turn a dream into reality. And for that, how we energize people is with our tech, with our innovations and our products. And this is also something we keep on repeating in our storytelling. So we have to dream, we'll have to sweat, and we'll have to tech that we talk about. And then lastly, a bit on repeat, so I want you to take this with you, is we'll make sure we create content for product promotions, we'll work on our brand awareness, and we'll make sure we're culturally relevant. So also, if you have, especially on the middle and the right for you, if you have any cool project, any cool initiatives where we can support, please reach out to us. We want to work together with you. We really believe there's a lot of potential, and we would really need your help here. Then, in terms of marketing the lead stories, trail running, Terra Skin, right now in the whole running attack, Core Fusion will be very big, that will play. Cycling around the Arrow, Ultimate Arrow, of course including the socks, and socks in general will be crucial. And to bring it all together, because there are so many stories, I must say it was a bit challenging to put everything together. So we also split it between trail running and cycling. So you see some leftovers from winter, as I showed before. Then we'll continue in February with Terra Skin, that smoothly goes over into the X01, and then to be followed by the X02. Well, you see a slight delay in terms of how we talk. Of course, these are outfits that are matched together, but we first want to have a primary focus on on the shoe-sock combination to really clearly tell about that story, and then also run into the apparel topics. And then analog, because we cannot do everything at the same time. We'll start with Core Fusion on cycling on the ultimate arrow. And the good thing here is because we have the full story with Core Fusion, everything we talk about on our new innovation will also pay into the full Core Fusion range. Then we'll move over to Exceed Ride. And lastly, also the Core Fusion Ride. What does it mean? There's also a slide from yesterday. So we'll also share this with you. Definitely on our lead stories, we'll try to make sure we have the full 3D support. And on the other stories, we'll clearly say what you can expect and what not. I will not go into this right now in every single detail, but just that you know, you get the clear information, what you can expect from us. And yeah, I think that should give you all the tools that you need. And then lastly, I have a small sneak peek. We've made some good progress on our own channels to sell the brand, but to be very honest, from my point of view, from being responsible for the brand, I also see a lot of potential to improve. I already started a project to, at the beginning of summer 25, also relaunch the front part of the website. So I already showed you the improvements we make, but we're, I would say, on a 60-70% level of where I believe we should be in our own channels, where we can best explain the brand, take us. And I'm sharing this with you because I also want you to know that also for ourselves, we're very ambitious. We want to keep on improving and not take it easy and say like, oh, we have the growth in, this should be enough. No, we really want to give our beautiful products the space they deserve, and what we all desire it to be. So you can also, in the end, the website will be an important source of information for people that are looking to buy a product. Some of the products are very high priced. It's usually not something you walk into a store and 5 minutes later you walk out. It's super nice. They're very convincing, but sometimes people do a bit of research. So we want to make sure that our own .com also gives you, and all of your retailers as well, all the information to convince people to buy this product. I just need to say it's a super quick, early version, but I think it gives you a good impression of where we want to take it. So this is a preview of the PDP, if it wants to start. With a small hiccup. Actually, the concept is going a bit more as you would know from if you buy an iPhone or a tech product, you usually get a lot of product information in an overview. That is more like a landing page where we can do the good storytelling, where we can give you all the specs that you need and really load the product. So again, this is very early draft, but I think you get the feeling. And from here, we can go into the tech specs, because we have so much information on the products. There's a lot of information from the tech specs is also what you'll find on the packaging. We talk about the benefits, about the key technologies, about everything that helps you to understand what our product's about. And then lastly, there's, I would say, the standard buying page, because in the end you also need to make it easy to buy. And I even forget, by the way, the compare you will see. But we really want to make rich storytelling, make it possible for everyone to really understand what our products are about, and yeah, to convince them that this is the product they need for their next adventure. So here you see the compare. Again, these are very early prototypes, but I think it gives you a good impression of where we want to take the brand, how we want to improve our storytelling, and also on our own website, implement the learnings we have. So far, we had a lot of improvements already on social media. If you check our Instagram, actually for a lot of people, Instagram is the first source of information these days. Before they go on a website, they first check social media. And we'll make sure that by summer 25, latest, also our website is up to speed for this. So, you've seen this slide now a few times, but I think there's also, to wrap it up from my side, Also, on marketing point of view, we're ready to get off the brakes. We really want to push the brand. We see a lot of potential. We need all of you. We see good growth on our own side, but we really see that's only the beginning of a journey of growth. So I hope we've given you all the resources and assets you need for this sell-in season. Again, if you have anything you need, reach out to us. If you have any great initiatives, I spoke with the Dutch guys about some athletes that might be interesting. All of you, please reach out to us. We really want to do this together. So these were just a few data points I must also tease you a little bit. We can actually, on country level, even if you have reach out to us. If you have certain data you would like to know, we can provide you this data. Like Steph and I have already been talking about what kind of data would help you to support this. Because for me, this is not a point, say like, hey, sell more X-BIONIC, sell more. These are data points where we believe we can help you to talk to retailers. So you can show, hey, we see this demand in France, for example. So you already buy X-Socks. Look, you can 9 times more sell X-BIONIC. But these are small things that I think are very helpful in the selling process. If you have any customers, key accounts you're approaching, please let us know. We can very easily provide you with some data that can help you support to build this case. And that's also like the big asset we see. Like we learn a lot from this data ourselves, but we also feel like it helps us to plan in quantities. It helps us to really drive initiatives. In Core Fusion, you've seen it helps us to steer the collection early on. Like all these points give us much more traction, much more quicker growth, and there are really tools for you as well to help you in your selling. Thank you.